morning, everybody. Welcome back to PSGL. George Morgan here, your commentator, alongside me, TK, who is going to be rounding off the season with me. Down the inside, absolutely impossible season.
This is for the win between these two.
I'm on the edge of my seat.
He needs to get it done now.
Blakey will dive to the inside.
We're robust. We've got our elbows out.
Ronar takes the lead.
Because here comes Alfie Butcher.
Can't really complain with that one.
It's not going to be easy. The pressure is on, of course.
Yarda Watmere is your champion.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening wherever you are in the world, and welcome back to PSGL for season 2, where tonight we head over to Stanford here in the PCF3 tier. We are at round number 5 of the season. At the halfway point, it's just myself, Max Ring, taking you through all the action this evening. But there are some interesting news about the standings after the first 4 rounds, and that is the fact. If we quickly head over there now as the drivers are loading into qualifying, it is Ave Gabadi who leads the way on the very top, but tied on points here with Victor Vidler. Top 2 in the standings, separated by literally nothing, and one of them is a reserve driver. Then we've got Dennis Langrock in 3rd. He's 10 points back from that top 2. Followed by Santana, Steg, Curiel, Bieda, Iskrieg, Black, Kennis, Diaz, Gio, Koya, Piazeski, Basler, Sosa, Tristan Janssen, Alexi Cavero, and Napadowski. Rest of your points scorers. But, ladies and gentlemen, I think we should head over track side as drivers have now just made their way out on circuit. But of course, resting notes this. That of course have that championship battle at the very top, identical points, but crucially as well, not have Ave Gabadi with us this evening. Now head over to trackside as the drivers now take their way onto the circuit to start their first laps of the first drive around. It's going to be the Frenchman of Jeremy Gallanet, yet to score a point season. I'll be looking to at least pick up a point here at the halfway stage, round 5 of 10. V-Car be able to do on his first tour, and of course 18-minute qualifying session followed by 36-lap race. And now heading into the final couple of corners, get his lap underway. Let's see what the Frenchman so through turn 1 we go, down to 3rd gear, bring the car through, and then up into turn 2, then straight into the banking of 3, down to 3rd gear, slowly bring the car back into power. Of course, they don't use the line, which the drivers use in real life. A little bit different. I'll head up into, of course, turn 6, this long right hand, no, turn 7, sorry, the long right hand, and then into turn 8. Instantly followed by 9, braking around about 75 metres down to 3rd gear, bring the car all the way to the left hand side to switch it straight back over to the right here for turn 10. Nice done there from Jeremy Gallanet. Usually a lot of rear end rotation through that left hander, but was able to keep it planted to 47.3. That middle sector from the V-car, dips a tyre into the gravel as he makes his way through the chain, and then up into the final braking zone of turn 14. DRS open for Jeremy and makes his way to the line. The benchmark lap time of the evening, and it's a 1:07.8 from the V-car. As across the line comes Cavero, a 1:08.3, half a second back from the Jeremy. Of course, usually oh so fast in a qualifying format. Damien Curiel was on a lap who was one round. Looks like one of the Ferraris. That was Max Veglars who goes up into second place. His teammate Eskrig is just making his way through the final corner as well. So DRS open for Eskrig, but he aborted his previous attempts. Will now line up to go again over to Wojtek Steg, who's now making his way to the line. Here he comes. It's third fastest for Steg, a 1 minute 8.0. Two drivers now on that 0.0 buffer as Rene Clean now goes up into second place on a 7.9. We're getting closer to that original benchmark of Gallon. What about Lucas Baisner? He's pushing on as to the very top goes teammate Dennis Langrock. Not by much, 8 thousandths of a second. Separating that top two. Curiel to third. Is Gio pushing on? Yes, he is. He makes his way to the line. He's only 8 fastest at a 1 minute 8.1. What about as we go on board with Luke Baisner again, a 47.3, 2 tenths faster than Gio in that middle part of the lap. That's Kennis up into 6th. Or just behind. It will be championship leader Victor Vidler. So we'll head straight on board of him after Baisner sets lap across the line. He comes. It's 8 fastest. Here comes Victor Vidler, and he goes to the very top. A 7.7, and Eskrig goes even better. Only by a few thousandths of a second. Ivan Eskrig has gone to the very top. And it's so close in this qualifying session so far. Kasper Flak on a 47.1 in that middle sector. He could potentially throw his hand in here for a provisional pole. If not, at least a front row position. Across the line he comes. And now Flak goes to the top. A 1 minute 7.613. Kasper Flak asserts his dominance in the first part of qualifying here. He now goes to the very top. This track rapidly improving, it seems. Drivers finding time wherever they look. Get ready for those next runs around this circuit. This whole leaderboard could completely change. So, of course, we wait for Eskrig and Flak to come into pit lane, waiting for some others to make their way out onto the circuit for their second attempts. But a very nice opening that there from Kasper Flak. So very top, but of course, at that halfway stage of the session yet, the times can change. Wojtek Steg now makes his way out onto the road. He'll be the first one round for a next shot, so next stab at the cherry for this one. See what the Red Bull can do. Currently on an 8.089. He's 4 tenths off the very top, but just look how close it is. Finds a tenth of a second. He's going from 12th up 9th place. Finds 2 tenths. So break into that top 5 from 12th place. And it's easy to find 2 tenths around a circuit like this because corners come at thick and fast. But he has just been taken by the McLaren of Alexi Cavero, who's now just starting his next push. That 2 tenths away from Nal Gio, the next slowest car in this field, as he makes his way through turn 1. Down to third gear, brings the car out to that left-hand side. Now as you head into turns 2, try to keep it somewhat flat through there into 3. It's a small lift through 2, and then slamming onto the brakes into 3, easy to lock the rears because you're going from so quick to so slowly in such a rapid change of momentum. Half a tenth up in that first sector. This is where the time can really be found in this middle part of the lap, a little bit wider than wanting to be through 8. Now heads into 9. Doesn't use the circuit like we've seen so far from Jeremy Gallinay and co. As he makes his way through turn 10. DRS now open. Makes his way into turns 11 and 12. He's 2.5 tenths to the good. On his previous best here is Alexi Cavero. This going to be enough. Try and snatch potentially even a top 10 away, but a big wobble out of the penultimate corner. Just about kept the car in a straight line. Would cost him dearly down this next straight, and did cost him dearly. Still slowest of all, but knows he's got time in the lap. Steg has aborted. Gallinay's going for a double out lap. Max Veglars is also doing the same. I think Santana's just started an attempt. Yes, he has. Let's see what Santana can do. Of course, the man third in the standings. He could be able to snatch something away from Casper Flack at this moment in time. There's Gallinay getting out of the way quite nicely. Half a tenth up here from Santana. At the moment on the 1 minute 7.9. 2,000 of a second with front of Rene Clean. Makes his way 9 into 10, down to third gear. So easy just to loop the rear through this left-hander. But everyone so far so good. And through the middle sector split, he's up by nearly a tenth of a second. We're staring at a potential top 4 looking lap at the moment here for Alex Santana through the penultimate corner. Uses all the circuit he can without riding that outside curb like we saw Cavero do. What's it going to be for the Williams driver across the line? It's second fastest. 2 tenths found overall. Just a tenth shy of Casper Flack. Is Wojtek Steg pushing on? Yes, he is. He's half a tenth to the good on his previous best for now. Across the line he shall go. Only 10th fastest for him. Galonier starting an attempt. I think that's Veglars coming to the line. It is. Where does he go? He goes up into 5th fastest. What about teammate Iskrig, who's actually got a little bit of traffic in front of him? That's an Aston Martin of Flack. It's a 7.4, but potentially got hindered there by Casper Flack, who's now just starting his next attempt. And we've also got, of course, Victor Fiddler pushing on around the circuit. He's gone to second fastest. Langrock into 4th. Lucas Baisner has just started his next effort. Oh, Shio has aborted previous attempt. Rene Clean is just behind him, but I think he's also aborted. Yes, he is quite a way down on his previous lap time. So it now potentially seems look over to Jeremy Galonier, who's currently 7th fastest. He finding anything on this lap, though, as he now makes his way into the penultimate corner. Of course, was the benchmark for the session. Took a while for it to be beaten. If he finds a 10th, he'll see himself up into that top 4. Could he find anything more onto that? He can! 3.5 tenths faster. Goes second fastest. Still a tenth shy of his Krieg. But that's beautiful stuff there from Galonier. What about Flack? He's only up by half a tenth. Across the line he goes. It's third fastest for Flack. So for Casper Flack, wasn't able to repeat that early dominance. Of course, might have potentially hindered the provisional pole sitter as well for East Creek for that top spot. So there could still be some time in the Ferrari's lap. He is a 10th to the good, and Kellis goes up into 5th fastest, a 7.6 from the sister Aston Martin car. Oh, Gio pushing another attempt. No, he has gone off the road. Potentially made a mistake at that infamous turn 8 exit. Driven him off the road, and that's going to be another lap in the bin for Nalgio. So then, as we get ready and prepare for the final runs here of qualifying. So as we are up with session, Egg has already made his way out onto the road quite early than everybody else. Time to do that double outlap, which helped some, not helped others. Waiting for the others to come out onto the circuit. I think he's going to do double outlap. That previous thought. Still down in 12th fastest. But can move up into the top 8 with a 10th for second found. Malgio now out onto the road as well. And the herd slowly flurries out. Circuit. Will be, unless Null does a double outlap as well. Null should go to first one on a attempt. So then, here comes Malgio through the final corner, and he definitely seems like he's going to be racy on this attempt. Here we are then, with the Hash driver. He's going to be the first one to get us underway, and into turn 1 he goes. Look at the commitment and the braking he was able to produce on these soft compounder tyres. He was so heavy on those brakes. Through now into turn 3, a narrower line, the rear of the car just trying to slide and step out of the way from the Frenchman as he now makes his way up into that first sector split. Only up by a few hundredths of a second, but of course, as I mentioned, where the time really is found in this middle part of the lap, through the turn 8 and then into 9 complex, a little bit wider from where he would want to be on the apex, but he's still carrying a lot of speed through the corners, and that might just help him through. DRS now open for Niall as he makes his way down into that middle sector split. What are we looking like here? A 10th.5 to the good, but at the moment will only be good enough to see himself stay in 13th place. So unless he had a huge moment in this final sector, for now it's looking like a back row start for now. DRS open for the Hash driver. Can he at least take it away from the back row of the grid? 4 now across the line he'll go, and it's a 1 minute 8.0, and it is not enough for Gio to take his way off the back row of the grid, and it will start a best of 13th. But we know, especially from his campaigns of previous, he is very much a race driver, not a quality focused man. 12th fastest for Cavero. Drivers now just starting a lap. Steg was down in the middle sector as he now pushes on through the final corner. What's this going to behold for the Red Bull driver? Is it going to be an improvement to take him off the back row? No, it is not. 200ths down on these previous best. Damien Curiel is pushing on as well, as we actually have Max Veglar's a little bit further around, but he did a double outlap, so he's going to be on a cool, just starting an attempt this time around, should I say, where is, of course, Jeremy Gallonay. He's also done the exact same thing. We now look to Dennis Langrock, who's purple in that middle sector. Could the man, of course, Dennis Langrock, be potentially looking at taking his first pole position of the season, of course? 4th in the standings, and this would be a brilliant way to help his championship campaign with the extra point across the line. Only 5th fastest for Dennis Langrock. Nothing too strong coming from him there. Curiel to the line. He goes to 8th fastest. Next will be Lucas Beisner. He's up by a 10th of a second. Where does this place him? He's now up into 7th fastest. Of course, we still look for Kennis and Flack. Flack is up by a half a 10th. Giovanni Kennis now making his way to the line. Where can he go? He stays 6th fastest. Oh, Casper Flack's had a moment, and I think that's Ivan Iskrig behind it is, who's down in the final sector, middle sector, and has he found anything in the last? Flack with the moment, he's not going to battle for pole position any longer. Iskrig not able to find an improvement. Galanay is not either. Fiddler only 4th fastest, Santana 5th fastest, and of course we now look for Veglars, who stays 10th as well. We still have Wojtek Steg making his way around on the road. Galanay, of course, was down on his previous best. And it's going to be Ivan Iskrig who takes pole position here in the Netherlands. A 1:07.4 set it on the second run. No one really was able to improve from their second to final run. It was only the drivers near the back of the field. But it is the Ferrari who takes pole position. And crucially for championship leader Victor Fittler, he starts 4th. A very respectable qualifying performance from the man tied on points with reserve Ave Gabadi. We now results in a few moments' time. So, your results for qualifying are as follows. It's Iskrig on pole from Galanay in second. Can he finally get a point on the board? The Frenchman looking to make that happen in the 5th round. It's Flack, Fiddler, Santana, Langrock, Kenneth, Basler, Curiel and Veglars round out your top 10. 15, Cavero, Steg, and unfortunately, Al Gio rounds out your field. Unfortunately for the Frenchman, he'll start last, have any pace throughout qualifying. But as I did mention, very much a race driver. But here we are, heading in to the main race. Are we going to see anything come here? For, of course, Iskrig and also for Jeremy Galanay. Of course, for Victor Fiddler, he is looking to try and extend his championship lead. Well, I say extend, take the championship lead convincingly and extend it from the rest of the chasing pack behind. This going to be quite a frantic Dutch Grand Prix. I'm expecting a lot of action, a lot of battles. The anything from people outside of those championship positions, like a Jeremy Galanay, who's looking for his first points. Can he start it off the way he would want to with a race victory? Out once again. So, as we, of course, gear up for this race. Comeback drive from the likes of Steg and Cavero as well. Basner and Santana looking to try and keep their championship hopes alive heading into this final round, but we do have those 5 red lights. It's Iskrig and Galanay on the front row, and we're underway here in the Netherlands. It's a good start from the Ferrari, who leads us away well. Galanay now under pressure from Casper Flack into that first corner around the outside. Will go the Aston Martin, and Galanay might have got the worst start imaginable on that first row of the grid. He's down into second place. Galanay, of course, Going to be now under pressure from Victor Fiddler. Flack up into second. That's exactly what he needs when it comes to his own championship. Of course, Victor Fiddler, the championship leader, he can't make too many wrong moves, or he could see that championship lead really reduced as we see Lanrock versus Giovanni Guedes, and actually as well Basner versus Damien Curiel squabbling through turn 8. There is Curiel to the inside now of Lucas Basner. Just hasn't been able to pull that move off, and that's actually meant Curiel's had to go on the defensive against Max Veglars, but no move being made there for the Ferrari. Iskrig with a dream start from pole position, no real wheel spin at all, and was able to just see himself straight up as there's Cavero and Steg to the inside of Veglars. Cavero went late on the brakes, Steg went even later, and into the side of the Ferrari they went. Gio says thank you very much, I'll pick up a place, and so did Rene Clean as well, and through that banking we go now. Veglars has dropped out of DRS range. We might see a move from Fiddler onto Galladay. No, just not close enough. But further back, Damien Curiel might be shaping up for a lunge on Basner. And once again, just not close enough in that slipstream, in those wheel tracks to make the move. We'll have to just sit behind. But for Iskrig, as I was mentioning, a dream start from pole, minimal wheel spin, and was just able to see himself straight into that race lead before we even reached turn 1, under no threat at all on that opening tour. But Casper Flack has brought that gap down to 2.5 tenths of a second, and he could see himself now put some pressure onto the Ferrari, maybe even threaten for that race lead, as of course through that middle sector we go to dirty air. It will be so difficult to manage for these drivers through that first part of the lap as they adjust that dirty air. And through the middle sector, especially through the lights of turns 8 and 9, it will be an absolute killer to front-end rotation, and that's where Iskrig potentially make pay, get a little bit close, get a bit further away, from the cars behind him. Give himself a healthy buffer for this exact DRS straight, that main straight. As further behind, we see Fiddler versus Galonier. Doesn't seem like anything could happen. Of course, everyone within DRS nullifies the effect, as that's actually Fiddler going deep, and that might actually invite Santana, his teammate, to the inside line. But no, Santana can't see his way through. Fiddler making a little bit of an unnecessary mistake there. Maybe caught out with the speed carried with the DRS. Make sure he gains his train, which he did. Santana, like he was going to go to the inside, but no, it wasn't worth fighting it through turns 2 and 3, so just too much time. So as we head into that final sector, as we're about to end lap 3 of 36. Start lap 4, of course, Steg is the only driver to have pitted. Does actually bring up the tyre, talking about Steg pitting. Everyone on the mediums except Wojtek. And he is very different strategy now with Steg. Everybody else is on the exact same. I think it's a stop here at the Netherlands. But we'll have to, it is a 2-stop here at the Netherlands, sorry. You can make the 1-stop work, but it's very difficult to do. So much time at the end. Potentially might not be worth it. So for these drivers, everybody going to be looking at that 2-stop strategy. Medium, hard, hard. You know, someone can extend that hard stint, and medium, hard, medium come the end of this one. And further back, something might have just happened to Alexi Cavero. Something dear has happened to Alexi Cavero. He's now dropped down to 13th. Oh, and he spins into the wall. A little bit unhappy, floored the throttle, and it saw him into the wall. This race just goes from bad to worse there for Cavero as he does it again. And that's promoted Clean and Gio now up into 11th and 12th as Veglars was able to reconnect to the train, with everybody congesting right in front of him. That yellow flag, of course, still for Alexi Cavero. Now we're going to finally see a move from Victor Fiddler onto Jeremy Galladay. No. Once again, the DRS just nullifying one another, as Casper Flack actually had to get it all a little bit crossed up to keep it out the back of the Ferrari of Ivan Iskrig. And the Aston Martin make sure carry on push. Ribeiro retires from the race. He's our first retirement, sped into the pit lane. Now, unfortunately for the McLaren, day is over after 4 laps in the Grand Prix. And for Casper Flack, he's starting to come under pressure here from Jeremy Ganley. Has he used up a bit of that tyre too quickly? With a bit too much energy. Those fronts. Costing valuable time, but Galinay is now falling back, and that's really put Fiddler in a position to pounce. He needs to get this move done now if he wants to try and fight with Casper Flack in the matter of laps time. Kennis comes into pit lane, and there's Flack to the inside of East Creek. There's 2 battles going on at the moment. Flack is able to get in front of the Ferrari, but it's the Williams going to be able to get in front of the V-Carb. Through turn 2 we go, and for Jeremy Galladay, he holds on to that 3rd place. Expertly defended, clean racing from both duos, and for Victor Fiddler, up. He has to stay in 4th place, and for Casper Flack, he's up into that race lead. He's finally able to get past East Creek. Now really starting to put his foot down that gap half a second. But of course, is have to just adapt and develop driving now. That dirty air, that middle sector. Seems that Ferrari is quite handy in a straight line. We've seen that for a majority of the evening. Because these two are the ones came into a little bit of trouble. Well, not trouble, but came into that little bit in qualifying. But with, of course, getting a lovely slipstream of Flack as they actually both come into pit lane. And does this invite a move from Victor Fiddler onto Galladay? No, it does not. But Flack, East Creek, Basner and Curiel all into pit lane, reacting to Giovanni Kennis, who's heading through the final corner. And are going to come out ahead of the Aston Martin. Has the sister Aston Martin been able to work some magic on this outlap to potentially see himself up into that top 2? No, he is not. Nice run out of the first corner. Himself really within contention here. He's now within half a second of Ethan East Creek in front. That undercut working wonders. Galladay and Fiddler, you would expect, will surely react on this lap. Staying with the likes of Langrock, Santana, Veglars, Clean and Gio. All of that medium compounded tyre. So for Jeremy Galladay, big decision. Of course, still looking for his 1st point. At the greatest at all. Only 13 cars now running. It is looking a lot better as the top 2 do come in. Of course, Santana had to stay out. Langrock decides to stay out this time around as well. Man 4th in the standings. He's trying something a bit different. The rest of runners stay out too. There is Fiddler and also Galladay into pit lane. Where do they come out in relation to that train? Now hurtling their way down that main straight. Are they going to still come out in the positions they were, or has Kennis got the jump? I think he's got the jump here on at least Victor Fiddler. Has he got it on Galladay? No, he has not. So Galladay remains in that net P3. Victor Fiddler and Galladay, they've now got a 2-lap tyre difference to Kennis and 1 lap to the top 2 in front of him of East Creek and Casper Flack. Go ahead over into that middle sector. We see now Santana, Langrock, Veglars and also Gio into pit lane. Rene Clean the only ones to stay out, and Veglars picks up a 10-second time penalty to boot as well. That makes the Ferraris race go even worse of being caught up in that early lap 1 skirmish. Drops off the back of the field. Now, as actually Iskrig gets past Flack with the DRS. Ivan Iskrig is past and he's up into that net P1. He's got back through on the Aston Martin. Has he found a bit more pace on these hard compounder tyres? Going a little bit more aggressive in this middle stint. Of course, top strategy. Only on lap 9 of 36. and for Dennis. Now in that pivotal position, but of course Black, he's still in DRS range. He can still fight back. Fiddler all over the back of Giovanni Kennis. Neat. And if he doesn't touch that top three, is now Rene Clean comes into pit lane. Happening here is further up. Back still staying behind his, but not able to find a way through just yet on Giovanni Kennis. Needs to try something special, maybe just go an unorthodox place, try and overtake it somewhere where the driver in front will expect it. Be able to capitalise on that moment. Not drawing close enough to have any back at the moment. Maybe through this next we might see a lunge, but the steer in the dirty edge just draws him out a little bit too wide through 8. He's got to look for it here into turn 10. There goes Victor Vidler to the inside of Giovanni Kennis. He's got the DRS. Well, both of them have the DRS. Heading down into turn 11. It's the outside for Vidler, which will turn the inside for the Williams driver. The Aston Martin will have to hold this one all the way around the outside if he wants to hold on to this one. He does. As we now head onto the brakes into the penultimate corner. Vidler still trying to hold this one around the outside. Shown the curb. DRS still open for the pair of them. And Vidler has to sit behind once again, but now he's looking to the inside. Kennis has dropped out of DRS range, the championship leader, looking to try and fight his way through on the Aston Martin. He's to the inside once again through that first corner, and still they run side by side as we head up into turn 2. Vidler fighting tooth and nail for this one as Veglas has retired. He's gone straight on at the first corner. No safety car called, and for Victor Vidler, after all that effort, he has not been able to see himself through, and unfortunately for Max Beglas, I think that might have been a system failure for him, as he's actually retired on the circuit. That's why it's not a safety car, it's not a race-ending crash. Kennis, he's out of DRS range, so he might come under pressure from Vidler shortly, as Curiel, I think, has gone really wide. He has, and that's allowed Santana, Lanrock and Basner all through. So, at this front train, Kennis has found himself back within DRS range, but did he get DRS on the last tour? No, he is not. Vidler, though, not close enough to capitalise on all of that. That's already put Vidler in a bad spot here. That gap 1.2 now between Kennis and Gallinate. Big slide there for Kennis coming out of turn 3. Course, if we get a race winner here, we'll have our third different winner of the season. So far, the spoils have only gone to Ave Kabaddi and Victor Vidler. They're two at the very top of the standings. One of them hasn't finished first. The other one has finished second, or it's been a not start. I did not attend. Last week in Texas, it was Kabaddi. Week before Austria, it was Victor Vidler. As we've seen, Algio may make a move on Damien Curiel. The Haas driver seeing himself move further forward, 3.8 seconds. That gap to Dennis Lamrock out in front of him. But struggled to catch up to that one though. But still, it could be done, especially with everyone congesting up in front of him. Kennis has got back within that DRS of Jeremy Gallinay, which is crucial for him. And of course, he's now battle Victor Vidler, able to DRS once again. Another fly. anything that Victor Vidler can throw at him. Front of the field, Eatrig still leads the way from Casper Flack and then Jeremy Gallonay in third. Closest of that top three looking to make a lunge, but it's just not going to be in that range just yet. Victor Vidler, he's close at the wrong time. When Kennis drops out of DRS range, he's not close enough to capitalise on that. And then when he's within DRS, he's 2 to 3 attempts behind. Vidler just showing the pace at the wrong time. And it could just be the fact that Kennis has that clean air. He's not as active by the dirty air. A bit more speed through the corners. Does not help driver at all. As we've now really forcing a lapse time reached that halfway stage of the evening. That DRS makes its way down in turn 11 and 12. So close under braking there. Teammate Santana is actually close to the back of Dennis Langrock as well. Langrock's actually got done there on Santana, see, way further up through the field. Yeah, look at this, just what DRS, how they've all got it. They only find minimal hundredths of seconds. They're still getting the slipstream effect. Because the driver behind gets 2 holes punched into the air instead of just the one. Into the back goes Alex Santana onto Dennis Langrock. He has found about a couple tenths of a second on this train in front. Just not enough though. See himself really with any contention, with any fight. See how this race goes on, how he's able to manage that as we see Langrock go a little bit wide, goes a bit defensive against Santana. Still isn't it just yet. Either would start. A slight mistake as we made our way down that straight. A little bit, got a little bit further back. That Gallonay up in that 3rd place as Schneck comes into pit lane. He's done 14 laps on those hards. That's a good indicator of how far he can take them for this race. That though to get his way all the way to the end. Gallonay, he's the opposite here of Victor. not so quick under braking. He's not so far. He's not faster than Flack through the corners. But once he gets those straights, he's lightning fast. Again, he's just too far back to capitalise on that. That gap could tumble down, as you can see now. Down that main straight, Santana comes into the pit lane. He's the first one of these front runners to come into the pit lane and move on to a second set of the hards. The undercut now in full effect. And are we going to see anybody else react to that? As Dennis Langrock is close to his teammate of Beisner, not able to find anything there. Black close to East Creek. Vidler close to Kennis. One Aston Martin on the defence, the other on attack. Casper Flack. And we saw him make a move just before the pit window last time. It did not work out. East Creek got him back. And now we're going to see East Creek come into pit lane. No, he did not. None of those front runners come in, but Victor Vidler does. Alongside him comes Lucas Baser. They get the car stopped. Where does Alex Santana come out in relation to these two? Santana is just making his way through the final corner. I'm not expecting him to jump on his teammate, but I'm expecting him to at least get the jump on Lucas Baser here. And he does get the jump on Baser. Has he got it on Vidler? It's going to be a drag race on the exit of the pit lane. And no, Vidler just comes out in front. He just slots in where he needs to. And this is going to be the undercut he needs against Kennis. And potentially even Galladay as well. As Flack was actually able to get the move done on East Creek. We looked back at Jeremy Galladay, but Flack was able to make his way through into that first corner. And is this the moment that Flack decides to pull the trigger and come into pit lane himself halfway through this race? A new race leader. All the way massively over East Creek. He will come into pit lane, but East Creek stays out even longer. Galonier went in with him as well, as Kenneth and Langrock stay out. Vidler now heading through the final corner. Is he going to at least jump the V-carb in this one? That will be his goal. Of course, his main aim is to get past Kenneth, but of course, he would love that extra jump onto Jeremy Galladay. He will get that jump on Galladay. And will he actually get it onto Casper Flack as well? He will get it onto Casper Flack. Victor Vidler up into a net race lead. As further back, that is Flack versus Alex Santana. The two, the Williams and the Aston Martin, now squabbling over net second place. It's a Williams 1-2 at the moment, as Flack tries to fight this one back as he heads up into turn 7. But he just can't seem to find a way. Wherever he looked, Santana was shutting the door on his face. And Santana up into second place. Vidler up into first. The Williams now in a net 1-2. So for Santana, he can now play rear gunner for teammate Victor Vidler. They're both in the championship fight. He doesn't owe Vidler anything. But he might just play second fiddle for now, at least. Throughout the majority of the races, Galladay came out all the way down in place. Was behind Baser and behind Flack. That's disastrous there for Jeremy, but it's certainly looking like he's on for his first points haul of the season. Actually going to look for it there onto Baser through turn 8. A little bit too close as Kenneth came in that previous 1.5 seconds back, still waiting for Langrock is going clean to come in pit lane. Now we're going to see Freak in now. No, stays out even longer. Same with Dennis Langrock. Gio and Clean potentially try the one-stop. I was about to say try the one-stop. Gio's come into pit lane and picked up a 10-second time penalty to boot as well. Fortunately for Niall, that might be his chance of points over and done with. Actually further back, Galinay is still fighting away with Basner. Can't get close enough. Got the pace over the Mercedes in front, but Zandvoort is so narrow, it's so tight. If you just park the car in the middle of the road, you'll be able to see your way through. Dennis Langrock, he now comes into pit lane. Same with Rene Clean, and Ethan Creek stays out even longer. It's actually Galinay's coming under some pressure here from Giovanni Kennis down that main straight. He's just set the fastest lap of this race. Around the outside will go Kennis. I think he touched the grass, causing him to brake a little bit later than what he was expecting. Just was not able to see himself through. Flack close to the back of Santana as well. Victor Vidler is now up into second, of course. That net P1 once Eastery comes into pit lane. That gap 15.1 seconds with top two on lap 23 of 36. Oh, look how close Flack is to the back of Alex Santana. He certainly could be in prime position to pounce now. DRS is open for the Aston Martin. He tucks into that slipstream on the Williams car. Be the moment that he finally gets through. Santana dives. Of course, Flack dives to the inside of Santana. Santana tried to defend it. Moved a couple times under braking, I think, actually, there. Will now try to hold it around the outside of turn two. Will not be able to do so. And that now puts Flack onto the back of Santana's teammate of Victor Vidler. He tried to defend it. Did Santana. He even turned it a little bit earlier. But it just wasn't enough. It wasn't to be. And that was very, very fine defense. That was very, very on the line defense, should I say, from Alex Santana. That could have very much been in the rules. Very fine line. Man, just look at the pace difference in that tyres. That's already half a second behind, and he's got Luke Baser and Jeremy Galinay for company as well. And you can't even count, of course, here Giovanni Kennis. His Easter finally comes into pit lane, but he will have a healthy difference in tyres compared to the rest of the field. Where would he come out? That is the main question. DRS is open for a majority of the drivers. No one close enough for a move just yet. And Easterbridge will come out behind Dennis Langrock. Might even come out, actually no, he's come out just ahead of Gio. And also Damien Curiel. At around about 4 seconds behind. Back in front of him. Try and use that 5 to 6 lap tyre difference to slice his way now through the drivers in front, but it's a very tricky circuit to do so. as of course, battle continue. But Baisner, Galanay, and Kenneth. Lanrock is slowly catching up the back of these guys as well. He's nearly within DRS range. Just to the inside. There goes Jeremy Galanay on Lucas Baisner. But he's just not able to squeeze himself through. And this might invite Kenneth now to look for a run out of turn 10. DRS now open for, of course, all three of these drivers. And Galanay now has to go on the defensive against the Aston Martin, who tries to swing it around the long way at turn 12. Actually bumps the V-carb into that next left-hander through the chicane. And look how close he is to the back of Lucas Baisner now through that penultimate corner and opening up that DRS as we head through the banking. As Galanay got close enough to get the run, to get the launch, as Dennis Lanrock found so much time thanks to all that squabbling. He's now all over the back of Giovanni Kennis, but no move being made there from Galanay. Same could be said for Dennis Lanrock. Baisner's dropping off from the back of Alex Santana. Flack not able to find a way through yet on Victor Vidler. What Lanrock can do and how quickly they make their way through drivers. First up here for Lanrock is Giovanni Kennis, and he goes to the inside in turn 11. That's expertly done to make his way past the first car, and there's now a car between himself and Iskri. Of course, these two navigating the traffic at the same time. If you're the Ferrari, you want to make sure if the Mercedes gets by, you get by with immediate effect. Now we head up to the squabbling cars of Baisner and Galanay. This will be a difficult combo of cars to overtake. Because it could be you be looking for a move, but then Galanay's looking for a move on Baisner. Or Baisner's having to defend and it boxes you in. So, got to play your cards right. And Iskri was not able to get past Giovanni Kennis on that previous DRS straight. That might once again give Lanrock a little bit of breathing space, a little bit of a lifeline. As we have 9 laps to go in this Grand Prix. As we see Galanay go for the move on Lucas Baisner, and it might give him that poor exit we saw just a few laps ago, which invited Kennis to the inside, but Galanay is going to try hold the inside against Dennis Lanrock. He's in a Mercedes sandwich, and the car behind the sister Mercedes on the fresher tyres is trying to see himself through. It'll be the outside through the final corner. And is he going to be able to get this move done, Lanrock? It'll be bold, it'll be brave, and it certainly would be beautiful. But Galanay on that inside line through the banking will get the extra helping hand he needs by just having that extra less few meters to run as we head into that first corner. It's 2x2 as Iskri goes for the move on Giovanni Kennis. They're still side by side through both pairs as we now make our way through turn 2. Galanay isn't able to hold on for now, and it's Iskri going to have to just fall back behind Giovanni Kennis. I think he is. They're still side by side out of turn 3. Kennis will be in the outside for 7. He's trying to show Iskri the door. Lanrock now up into 5th, and Iskri still in 8th, but Kennis dives a little bit wider. Look at the momentum and the drive. Iskri got off the corner there, but will Kennis fight back into the next right-hander? He will not, and Iskri is able to make its way finally up into P7, but as soon as he gets past one car, there's another car in between himself and Dennis Lanrock. Expert traffic management from the Mercedes man. As Noel Gio, I think, is disconnected, unfortunately. So for Iskri, he's now going to try and get past Galanay with effect. Baisner's try make he's got to be now the next one on the Dennis Lanrock as Jose Eyes boxed him again. Served that 10-second penalty, you think, and that's really ruined Gio's race. Excuse me. Last of all drivers, I think it was a whole game crash actually for Noel Gio. Oh, and that's really unfortunate. Yeah. Ash driver. Had that 10 seconds, yes, might not have scored points. Certainly. Strong on track finish. Langrock might be getting close enough for a move here onto teammate Beisner. As Iskrig is trying to get past Jeremy Gallanet as well. Head down that main straight. Are we going to see a move here from the German? No, we are not. Langrock still just staying behind. 9/10 of a second separated that top 41 moment. Venus able to get past his teammate Damien Curiel. These two having a really nice scrap further back. Alpine swapping places. Sheg now comes in hit lane. So guys 14 laps, was not willing to risk a punch in the end. Now close as Dennis Langrock actually got the move down on Baser as Gallane's been tagged! He's been tagged by Iskrig and Kennis. Says thank you very much. I'll try and get the pair of you. But a Ferrari making a monumental error trying the overtake. Gallane's certainly not going to be happy with that one as Kennis lunges the car into turn 12. There's contact between the pair. He lets Gallane through. But they've dropped a second off Iskrig. Langrock's able to see his way through. On, of course, Dennis on Lucas Baisner, and Iskrig tried the move. It was a half-hearted lunge, it seemed, from him on Gallanet. Sent the V-carb into a half slide. Later stages of the race, time management, battery management be oh so crucial for these drivers. I think you can rule Gallanet and Kennis out of this race winning contention for now at least. Second off the back of as Langrock is now all over the back of Alex Stanner. Might be able to see fell through a couple of laps. Not rule Langrock out for a race victory here. As that further back is Iskrig getting past there on Lucas Baisner. Had the DRS, had the overspeed and was able to make his way to the inside quite nicely through that first corner. And he's now up into 5th place. He's now got no cars in between himself and Langrock. But watch this, where Langrock is able to get past Santana, and Iskrig has to fight his way for another car all over again. Or he can get to the back of that Mercedes. Look at Langrock, he is so close to the back of the Williams driver. 5-lap tyre difference as he looks to the outside line through 9. He might be able to force his way through, but no, just has to back out of things. Not close enough, drew himself somewhat alongside, but Santana showed him the door. Lovely defending there from the Williams driver, using the road, using the car to advantage. That line will have 3 more laps to go in Stanford Sand Dunes. As Gio at least at the fast up of the race, quite happy with that. Race open down that main straight. Iskrig getting closer to the back of Dennis Langrock. Be close enough for a lunge. Flack still just waiting here against Victor Vidler. They're really your top 2 battle at the moment. Langrock close to Santana this time around, but can he get closer in part of the circuit? Flack is really close to the back of Vidler. Might just have to move that battle. Couple of moments time. he's getting into battle position, but someone who is looking like he's getting a battle formation, a battle cry, it is going to be Casper Flack against Victor Fifth. There's a big slide in the background, though, for Alex Santana against Dennis Langrock. The RS now open for Casper Flack as he gets closer and closer. It's all about this run down the main straight as we start the penultimate lap of this evening's race. He's able to make his way through. He's up into that race lead now, is Casper Flack. And is he going to be able to hold on to it? 2 more tours of this circuit. Of course, not only does Flack have to contend with that first straight one more time, he has to do it twice because you can still get that race victory with the run to the line, as that was Santana having to defend from Dennis Langrock through turn 3. Mercedes and the Ferrari of Iskrig are bearing down Santana's neck. Really coping well with this pressure at the moment is the Williams driver. Really difficult stuff when you've got 2 fast cars behind you. Trying to apply that pressure as Fiddler, nearly 7 tenths behind, might not even be in position to strike against Flack. What it's all boiled down to, this run down the main straight as we start the final lap of this race this time around. Fiddler will get closer, but it will not be close enough. Santana still just in front of Dennis Langrock for now. This certainly could be a run to the line for the podium. Langrock really got a hustle for the final lap, put some pressure on the back of Alex Santana. Force the error. Force him to some DRS. Iskrig still waiting in the wings just in case something happens. And will it be Flack? Will it be Fiddler? And at the moment it's certainly looking like it could be Casper Flack's day. Certainly could be Casper Flack's day here in home events. And for Langrock, he's just going to fall short, but heading through the final couple of corners, the streak of Gabadi and Fiddler wins will be broken, and it will be broken by the hometown boy, the home hero. Here is Casper Flack. The Dutch Lion roars here in Zandvoort. The winner of the Dutch Grand Prix is one of their own. It's Casper Flack who wins here in F3. The Dutch Grand Prix goes the way of the Aston Martin, and the Fiddler Gabadi streak is over, with Fiddler picking up 2nd place at the very least, so they will still feature on a podium at every race. Santana in 3rd, Langrock 4th, Iskrig 5th, Baser 6th, 7th place Kenneth. Gallonay finally picks up his first points of the season in 8th, Lena in 9th, Curiel 10th, and Gio to round out our field. But for Casper Flack, the Dutchman reigns supreme in his home turf. I do say that your home event does give you an extra 2 to 3 tenths of a second. Flack certainly has delivered on that as Gio crosses the line to round out the field. But Flack is our 3rd different winner of the season. And that is very strong from Casper Flack. Actually really help him in the standings. I don't think he points before evening. But anyway, the field is as followed. It's Flack, Fiddler, Santana, who's able to pick up 3rd, Williams 3, just like we saw Baku just Lanrock, Iskrieg, Basler, Kennis, Galanate, Clean, Kriel, Steg. Go rounding out your Max Veglars. Barrow. So, back to gentlemen for a brief moment. Of course, this now also means have some incoming our way. At the moment, it's Casper Flat, but I think we might run from in a few time as well. Was a very strong race. Nothing really drastic happened in that one. It was more chaotic or crazy Grand Prix. Race all about mental strategy, all about keeping ahead. Exactly what Casper Flack did. Lanrock and Iskrieg, they tried staying out longer in the work. But about the race, let's hear from our drivers and see how they found things. Starts off with second place man. Hello, Victor. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Hello.
Well, first of all, congratulations on second place. Just talk us through that one. How did things go?
Oof, long race, difficult race. Qualifying was very far from optimal. I messed it up a lot, so that was unfortunate. P2 was very easy, and P1 was also on the cards, but Ivan did a really good lap in qualifying, so I was not beating that for sure. Then starting P4 was not optimal, but yeah, two stopper we knew was gonna be best. Everyone else agreed. Box probably a lap too late for the first stint, so I lost some positions. Then middle stint, I just thought, you know what, it's impossible to overtake. Fuck it, I'm just gonna box really, really early. And luckily my teammate Alex did as well, so we could just work together there and keep them behind. So I was really happy. P2 felt really nice after being P5 on the second stint.
Work out quite nice. Sorry if you just had a lang. Adrenaline's pretty high after a race like that, and yeah, I mean it all works into your favour. That strategy it wasn't really a race based on overtakes. I did say just before the game, it was one more about keeping your head and using strategy advantage. How difficult is it trying to follow one another and just times you up behind? Gallant. No, it wasn't Gallant. It was Kennis.
Givano, yeah.
Yeah, on that second stint. Just how frustrating was that to get close, just not close enough with that DRS?
It was really frustrating, you know, like I knew I had more pace. I had more pace than all the front guys, I felt like, but you can stay close on this track, but then the DRS is just worthless unless you're P2. So it was impossible to overtake. That's why I boxed early for the second stint, and it worked out in my favor.
Of course, for you, the champion, well, tied championship, Dave Gabadi coming in. How good is a result like that in terms of your championship? Gabadi was extended it over everything else. A nice cushion now over the rest of the. How much of a confidence is that going to take for you second half?
Honestly, perfect. Like I was hoping just this entire season so far, I've just tried to do my best and have fun and enjoy it. Today, I put a bit too much pressure on myself in qualifying, so I couldn't really deliver. But then I'm really happy we got the strat right in the race, and I could come back and show what I could do. And P2 finishing both ahead of Alex and Dennis was really important. So perfect point for the championship, to be honest.
And extended that buffer, but one last one from, of course, head to Brazil next week. First of all, will you be racing? And second of all, are you confident around there?
I will be racing, and to be honest, Brazil is not one of my best tracks. It's not one of my worst tracks. It's just like I can be up there and challenge for a podium, I think, but challenging for the win is going to be difficult.
Hopefully, can challenge. Yeah, hopefully we back next. And congratulations
Thank you very much.
Right, we've heard from second place man Victor Villa. We've got a little bit of a difficult order because Santana joined a little bit later than after we started the third place. Anna. Hello, Alex.
Yeah, I can.
Well, first of all, congratulations at third place. Talk us through things. How did things perspective?
Yeah, it was a strange race because yeah, obviously we knew it was gonna be a two-stop, but then people boxed way too early. So I went overcut in the first stint, so I couldn't get past anyone. So we just sent it with a crazy undercut in the second stint, and it worked perfectly. Like P3 is way better than P8 or something I was before boxing, so I take it.
Yeah, work out into your favour, and you've had a very strong race indeed. Yeah, just talk us through that strategy. Well, of course, said people boxed early. What was your original lap to pit in that first?
Yeah, we were gonna box. I think first people boxed like lap 5 or something like that, and we had thought of like a couple or maybe 3 more laps because the hearts are obviously better when you save a bit. But then yeah, people boxed too early, so we had to box earlier than we wanted. And the second stint, we already saw what happened, so we changed it a bit.
We're able to adapt on the front and work that in, and I think that was now of it keeps you actually standings. You're behind Gabaddi and Langrock by a couple of points each. Just how much of a confidence boost is taking a second podium at this halfway stage?
Yeah, I know things could have been better in a few races, but this shows we have enough pace to go for. I'm not sure about the championship because Victor is flying, but to go for definitely higher than we are. So yeah, we're gonna try and keep things like we're doing, but executing better, which hasn't happened yet. So hopefully, I get a win in one of these races.
Hopefully. Last one from me, Alex. Of course, we head to Brazil next week. Will you be there? And if you are you confident around Sao Paulo?
Yeah, I will be there. It's not one of my best tracks, but I will try to give it my all. 'Cause every point matters, so I'll try next week.
Yeah, hopefully we see you back challenging again for a podium.
Thank you.
Third place man, Alex Santana. And finally, let's move on to the home winner, Casper Flack. Hello, Casper, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. Yes.
Well, first of all, congratulations on the victory this evening. Of course, it must feel quite special with it being your home race as well.
I mean, yeah, finally my first win on PC. It's always nice, and then to do it in Zandvoort is even better, I think. Yeah.
Very special place to pick up a win. Even your first win at your home. Yeah, congratulations on that front. Just talk us through how things went for you. How did you find that race?
Well, first of all, qualifying P3, so that was pretty decent. You can always do good from P3, even if or especially if it's a two-stop race. So I overtook Jeremy, I think it was, in turn 1, which helped a lot, so I could save tires a little bit. Then I took Evan, or I don't know how you pronounce it, before the pit stops, and then Daniel, or not Daniel, what's his name called? I forgot. My teammate and I tried to be 1-2 in the train, but the undercut wasn't as strong, so he had to settle for a bit less. Then the two Williams pitted way earlier than I expected them to pit, so I had to overtake Alex, and then I saved tires the whole race basically behind Victor, and then yeah, it's enough tires left to push the last 3 laps or 2, and then yeah, won the race.
It was a very unique round, Sample, when it came to that strategy front. Just
Yeah.
how difficult to adapt to the drivers boxing a little bit earlier, a little bit later than you thought they would. One where had to keep an eye on everyone and just keep mental note of who boxed when and how to then attack them depending on their tire life.
Well, it was no ideal because I wanted to be P1 or P2 at all time. And I wanted to pit lap 21, but then I saw that they pitted so early, so it was no ideal that I had to overtake. That was not my plan for the race, but I overtook them both, so that was very lovely. But it was a bit weird to see them pit that early because I didn't expect them. But I mean, Zandvoort is way better with the 2-stop, so I like that.
Does make fighting for driver and at home, and then finally from Casper, we head over to next. Now 2 podiums in a row, 1 third place victory. Will you be racing next? If you are you confident around there, and could you make it 3 in a row?
I think I'm racing next week. Yeah, I am. So I had a good race in WR. I qualified decent there and had a decent race. So maybe I can do the same in PSGL. Let's try to get 3 in a row.
And make it podiums in a row. But thank you for joining me, Karen. Yeah, hopefully we see you back next week. Congratulations.
Thank you. Cheers.
Right then, that was your top 3 from the 3. It was certainly a race of attrition more than a race of action. But Casper Flack, to take your first race victory on PT at your home circuit, that must be extra special for at the moment, and that will give a healthy extra tally that would all the way up 26 at actually that race top 4. He'll be up in 5 places, so very strong result to kickstart his campaign. But of course, that's the first half of the season over, ladies and gentlemen. Let me take you through the second half of the season. Head off. We've still got Brazil, Singapore, Belgium, Abu Dhabi, and Jeddah yet to come from round 6 to 10. It's no break week, frantic action throughout, and it is going to be flat out racing from now till the end as well. But that is all, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all very much for watching. It's an absolute pleasure as take you through action once again here at Great. Make sure you tune in next week as we head over to Sao Paulo for watching an absolutely cracking race over there. Should be a lot more action for overtakes, knowing how we're a little bit wider and the giving with the overtaking opportunities. Have to wait and see. So make sure you join us at 7 p.m. UK time or 8 p.m. Central European time next week for round 6 of the season at Sao Paulo. Can Victor Vidler extend his championship lead even further? Can Flack make it 2 on the bounce? Our 4th races. Let's find out. Make sure stick around and watch F2. They'll be just heading into their race now, so check out over there if you want their action going on. That's going to be all from here, folks. Thank you all very much for watching. Stay safe, stay well, and